hiding in there because this car came up like, oh shit, there's like a car. They saw us all, like, we all sprint. Because we thought they're gonna like turn around or something. No, they come right up to us. Their car's...
This video was recorded March 7th, 2020. Less than a week later, the world would change forever. This here is my Corona story. For the purpose of this documentary, I'm going to recount my year from January up until what's being recorded, which is mid-October 2020. This is a recording of true events and my experience with the coronavirus and how life has affected me, my friends, and just the town I live and my perspectives of everything around me. I hope you can take something from this and enjoy.
I'm not much of a talker, so I guess that I'll just stalk her.
Dr. John A.
It went out your nose, retard.
January 2020 was one of the last normal months of mine and pretty much everybody else's life. This was really before the stigma of coronavirus really started, with the first case being confirmed January 20th in Washington state. The worry for the virus would only increase in the following months with more cases throughout the country. My January 2020 was really peaceful. I didn't have much going on because I didn't have any extracurricular activities and a lot of my friends did sports, so I mostly just stayed home. I worked on my guitar skills. I FaceTimed my then girlfriend that I started dating that month also, and when I did have time to spend with my friends, I would usually go to the mall with them and hang out or see a movie. And that was my January 2020.
I have Abraham Lincoln.
Yo, that's a fake $5 bill.
Not a fake $5 bill. It's not. It's real.
No, it's not.
Real. I'm being serious.
This is fake?
No, it's not.
You're joking, dude.
I'm not joking.
He's playing with me.
I'm not joking.
Do you like work at the mall or you just like...
Nah, I just like... I started rubbing his shoulder.
I know it hurts sometimes, but you'll get over it. You'll find enough.
I like to think of February as an extension of January. For everything was about the same. I could lump the 2 months together. Same kind of deal that I explained with January, except the concern for corona had arisen. With more cases moving across America, more people were infected, and it was more of a hazard and a safety concern, which would soon go into March, where procedures were taking place that would affect the rest of the world. Sometimes we as people take things for granted, and that's also something I want to bring up really quick as we talk about the last few normal months of the world before Corona hit. Some things we don't really think about anymore is how things used to be, how social interactions used to be, how we could go into school, or how we could just, hug our friends or family and not be in fear of getting them sick. Or we could talk about eating at a restaurant, or sitting at a desk where things weren't just isolated. I think we take a lot for granted, including traveling, small businesses, everything that has been affected by Corona.
It work the right way. Okay, does that make sense? So for silent...
Yes! Oh my god!
I'm sorry. Oh my god.
This is a raid.
No! Don't rip my mistake.
And now we are all caught up. This is when quarantine begins.
Again.
I hurt my knee.
Are canceled today, and sports. All afternoon activities and sports are canceled today. Thank you.
Corona time. Corona time, bro.
my experience following me finding out that school was canceled because of the coronavirus was pretty startling and something I would like to share. When everybody was leaving, everybody was joking around, not knowing how serious, and I don't think even the teachers knew how serious this would become, with everyone expecting it to be 2 weeks off. When I was leaving the school, the roads were completely empty, it was completely silent, and me and my friend were just playing basketball and laughing, and the only sound we hear is a flying helicopter flying above King of Prussia. And since then, I feel like the streets in my neighborhood has been way more empty.
This is so stupid. I cannot listen.
Make music. At this point in March, coronavirus was becoming a main concern, which eventually would lead to our schools shutting down and our businesses shutting down, putting our whole country into a nationwide quarantine. Now, you can tell in the videos that we aren't too serious, or at least the students are, people my age or younger, and that's really because how it was presented to us. In schools, we were told that this virus wouldn't affect younger people and it would only really hurt people that were compromised or older. So as kids, we didn't really think of it as anything too serious, just a 20 or month-long school break. Also can see in the videos, quarantine for me wasn't taken too seriously. I still hung out with my friends the first few weeks of the virus outbreak when it got serious, and I did social distance, I did do all those things. However, I had rules and I guess laws put on me by my parents that I could not go into people's houses or stores or people's cars or sleep over at people's houses, all that stuff, because of safety concern. April was an especially tough month for me. From being locked inside my house out of fear of getting coronavirus, from a breakup to an abundance of schoolwork, also including the isolation. For me being an only child, I don't see people my age. I don't have a brother or sister that I can talk to, so I hung on to my friends. I would FaceTime them every single day, play video games with them every single day, and I still do. And one thing that April did was open people's eyes to the changing world. This is what the world was going to look like, and this is how it's going to be. So people started wearing masks. There's more regulations, and there is more of an urgency to open things up and fear for the worst.
No, he won't do it.
Really?
Yeah, he won't do it.
Wait, there's a camera. Yo.
Back up to the side, yeah. Gangsta, but my G too tight, yeah. I see my op through the sights. Take that bitch once and then tell her good night. Bye bye. All white on my ice, so like rice. Stack up and get right
out of sight. AG went up in my price. 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 Money my bank account, this shit precise. AG went up in my price. AG went up in my price. I drive my whip like it's stolen. Yellow diamond look like Homer. Heard that Rolls Royce is your homies. So your whip that is a loner. My money your rise like my boner. I fuck your bitch that did that off aroma. We whip it up, no baking soda. I turn if a nigga right to on the donor. Okay, I feel like I own it. That girl so smart that she walk.
In most regards, May was pretty similar to April. I still had a lot of schoolwork, and a lot of it was starting to get piled on because it was the end of the year with school ending in early June. People were worried and kind of upset that they didn't know if the restrictions of quarantine would be taken off at the beginning of June or pushed back like it had been the previous past 2 months. One thing that I can say was different was the death of George Floyd and the impact it had on our nation as a whole. Where I lived, there was a lot of peaceful protests. On 202 in Bridgeport, at the mall too, but there was one riot that happened a little before the Philly riots, and it was a bunch of people parking down my block and blocks around the mall, and they all marched to the mall and tried to break into the mall. SWAT team was called, and don't quote me on this, but tear gas was used. I don't think there's any casualties, but there was a lot of injuries, and it was really serious. And the mall and roads leading up to it were closed for the days following the protest and riots.
Oh, yo guys, real quick. Ethica check.
Oh, my fault.
Ethica check.
I just playing.
Bro.
Yeah, there you
Grant.
Tomorrow? That's what you said. That's what you said like every day for the past year.
Don't worry about it. I got you tomorrow.
I go tomorrow. If you give me permission, I'm already out. I'm not looking up like a word. You said I gave you permission. I'm not looking up a word.
You cannot use your phone.
Don't. All right, I'm gonna take all day. You're not using your phone.
Bro, you say something.
That is slow. At this point, summer has officially started, even if it's unorthodox. We have group hangouts again. Quarantine has been lifted, although I still have rules on me being able to go into people's houses and go out to eat and such. But I'm doing better, and I think a lot of people are too at this point, now that they have more free time and they have more free will to do things like go to the shore and stuff along those lines. For the reason that YouTube won't let me upload more than 15-minute videos, I'll have to split this documentary in 2 halves. As we lead off, it's only July, and things are not totally better, but things are looking up. So if you want to watch and see what happens, and see more stories, and ones pertaining to the older ones too, I'll keep you updated, and see you in the next one.